Welcome to the podcast. Title Talk with Corey. Now streaming. Stand by.
In T-minus 60 seconds.
All right. Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Today's Monday, January 22nd. And welcome to Title Talk with Corey, podcast for real estate agents, anybody in the business. I do this podcast live every Monday, 11 a.m. So join me. Jump on with me. I got some information to share today.
Fire.
Good morning. All right. So today's Monday, January 22nd, and I've been dark for the last couple of weeks. Got COVID last week. Well, actually, it was about 2 weeks ago, but that ran over probably a little bit over a week. Doing good. The whole family got it, but we're all doing good. And so I'm back. This is my first episode of the new year. This is my episode 20 of Title Talk with Corey, the podcast for real estate agents or anybody in the business, but not just real estate. I do bring on other guests as well. I've got some interesting young talent coming on in the future in music, acting, Hollywood actor, even sports. So stay tuned. I got some interesting stuff. Everybody's got to have a place to live, whether you're leasing or you're buying. So I try to keep it fresh, try to keep it interesting. But today's episode 20, I want to talk about just some of the really valuable resources that we have here at Pacific Coast Title Company. And so I'm going to go ahead and share a few things and just kind of update you on some of the stuff, some of the key features with the PCT Title Toolbox. We got some other great stuff. We've got a mobile application that's really handy and useful in the field. So that's called the PCT Instant Profile application. If you haven't, if we don't work together and you're interested and you guys, you're looking for a good title rep to work with, please feel free to reach out to me. My number is 626-392-7993. You can reach me by email open@CoreyTitleRep.com. And then also up on my website, you can see here, there's a QR code if you want to hit the link for my website. And through there, you can order, you can set up an appointment with me. You can order farming, and I specialize in farm data. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. But what I want to make sure that I'm doing for my clients, especially coming out the gate in 2024, is just keeping you guys updated on all the resources and the tools, the farm tech that we have here. Because I don't think that everybody out there, I think you guys have heard of some of this stuff, the PCT Title Toolbox, Instant Profile, Pacific Coast Agent One. These are all really, really valuable tools for people in the business. And if you work with a team, maybe you have some assistants that you'd like to get some training for, or the office, you're an office manager or a broker. I'm happy to come out to do that, to do some training, farm technologies, talk about title. If you guys want to learn how to, your agents to learn how to identify key flags and problems with prelims. I have some great people that we can bring out and train you. Several different classes that we can work with you on and help educate and inform your agents. So stay tuned for that. I'll keep you guys posted and updated with some of those classes that we'll be doing in the future. But jumping on today, I want to show you some really easy, some quick shortcuts on the PCT Title Toolbox, because I've been hearing a lot about, you're starting to see a lot of ads out there on divorces and really the need to sell type of client, and really that is what it is, right? There's a lot of sales still occurring. You just don't see those, those normal regular market sales where people are selling, right now. They're selling their 3% interest loan home and then going into a 7% rate. It's kind of rare. You're not really seeing that. So you really got to target and be a little bit more target specific with the type of potential prospect that you're going after, right? And that's where we come in, the title company, the tools that we have here, some great farming resources. And I truly mean that. I wouldn't be sharing this stuff with you if I didn't really truly believe in it. It's really good technology to use out there daily. Really, these are tools that you should be doing daily. And I get it. A lot of you guys are really busy. Some of you guys are still really busy, and you might have some assistants. But I'd like to sit down and train your assistants and teach them how to use these. Like I said, if it's an office that you want me to work with, I can help train your office as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and share with you guys my screen here. And this is gonna be the PCT website, off the PCT website. That's www.pct.com. And this is our Pacific Coast Title website. And you can see right here in the middle, we got the PCT Title Toolbox application. And this is an awesome app for targeting all types of data, including life events like divorces, affidavits of death that were filed. Now, this is something I have to be very clear on that type of lead data. That's not something that I can legally give you, but you have access to this application. I can show you how to use this wonderful title apparatus, and you can use this to target certain events like life events and divorces. Those are considered premium leads, and so you would have to pay for those. I would teach you how to use the program, and then you can pay for those. Those are not, everything's relatively inexpensive. I think the most expensive lead that they have here is going to be about 25 cents, or I think it's 50 cents actually. But for like divorces or affidavits of death, these are all life-changing events that occur. And sadly, but when that happens, a lot of times there's going to be some kind of shift in ownership, a sale, more than likely will occur, right? So I'm going to show you how to use some of these features here. This is a map-oriented program, the PCT, Pacific Coast Title Toolbox. And you can see here, if you're just listening to the podcast later, I highly recommend, coming back, checking it out on Spotify, check out the video on YouTube. But also reaching out to me again, reach out to me and I can get you set up and I can get you trained and show you how to use these tools. So what I'm going to do really quickly here, now you see when you log in here on Pacific Coast Title Toolbox, this is a map oriented program. We go up to farming. I'm going to go ahead and click on farming, and we're going to do a boundary search. And just for, because I don't want to get, we'll just go through, say, the city of Pasadena here. I have a lot of clients in Pasadena. And we're just going to map out an area of Pasadena here and see what we can come up with here. We're going to run a few different filters off of this. And that's primarily what I wanted to show you today, is how easy these filters, the developers of the program, which is Benutech, have made this. Okay. So I've created a boundary here around the Pasadena area. And normally if I wanted to find out how many records and how many homes or records would pull up within this boundary map, I could just click get count on this. But I don't want to do that. No, it's going to be several thousands, probably tens of thousands of records. And I don't need all that data, right? And this is all about being more target specific with your search. And so we want to target specific niches. Okay. So we're going to click add filter here, and you'll see this box pop up here. Okay. And in here, we can add some of those premium premier, we call it premier data, and they're premium features that you would pay for. These would be considered leads, right? So I can't actually give this to you, but again, I'm going to show you how to use this stuff. So within that boundary map, like I said, there's been a lot of talk about divorces. So what we're going to do is we're going to check this area, this map here. So we're going to select in here, we're going to select divorce under the type of leads that you're looking for, right? We're going to click divorce here. And then right here under date of filing, we're going to change that perimeter to last X months. And then the value would be, we'll go back. Let's go back 6 months. So I'm just going to put the number 6 in there. So you got date of filing last X months and then 6. We're going back 6 months. Okay. So I'm going to get the count now. So remember, we got this boundary that we're searching here in the Pasadena area, right? And then we clicked on divorces, and we're going back 6 months, 180 days. And so I've come up with 11 properties that match that criteria. So that's, those are 11 properties that someone could potentially make some commission on, right? Now, again, I want to emphasize that this is not something that I'm giving you. I'm just showing you how to use the tool. Okay. So you got 11 properties here. I can set you up with the tool, but I'll give you and I'll show you the knowledge. I'll teach you how to use this stuff. But as far as the data, when it comes to premium data, you would have to put your credit card in there and, download it. But anyways, so that would cost you $5.50. It's 11 records that shows divorces, right? So you got 11 records where there were divorces filed within that boundary map over the last 6 months. Okay. And then what you do, you just go ahead and click pay now and download it. It's that simple. So it's not as complicated. I think, a lot of these, companies are coming out right now trying to show you how to get the divorces and all that stuff. It's, it's right here. Give us a call, 626-392-7993, Pacific Coast Title Company. We got the PCT Title Toolbox, and it's something that if you don't have that in your, your tool shed, your war chest, then you need to get it. So give me a call or email me open@CoreyTitleRep.com. And if you want to access some of these incredible tools here. So now I'm going to go ahead and close this out here. I'm going to close that box out, and it'll take us back to the map here. So, we got the boundary map that I created here around the Pasadena area, right? I'm going to go back into, let's see, we're going to click on add filters. So we click on the map and we're going to add more filters here. Okay. Now these are really cool. These are the custom filters that PCT Title Toolbox has here. Now these are all non-premium, so you can access these directly here. This is going to cost you anything, or I could run this for you, or you could run it. I can teach you. I can teach your assistants, your office. We got the boundary map here in Pasadena. In the available filters, I'm going into custom filters. And we're going to run an algorithm over this boundary map. And we're going to use, we're going to check out, see how many empty nesters are in this boundary map of Pasadena area. Okay. So I'm going to go up here to this filter here that says empty nesters, and we're going to click filter on. And now we're filtering for 30 years of ownership, 3+ bedrooms off of this boundary map in the Pasadena area. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click get count, and that will go ahead and retrieve that data. Remember, this is a live program. So let's see here. Oh, okay. Well, it looks like, yeah, you don't want to you don't want to put an empty nester filter on such a large area, because I came back with quite a few records here. 2,945. If you were going to do the whole area, it just depends on what you're doing, right? What I always recommend is, I recommend for agents to select a farm area, to go after a farm area that they, or even a couple of different areas, and I run up, the full farm on that area. Maybe you come back with it. I try to recommend staying below 500, something that's manageable for you, for your time, right? And you have more success, I think, if you just make it easier. You're more, it's more manageable for you instead of spreading yourself out too thin, right? So let's say you have an area of Pasadena that you want to do, we do a boundary map on it, and you got your 500 records, right? And then now out of that boundary, let's run an empty nester algorithm. Instead of having 3,000 records, maybe you come back with 150, right? 150 empty nesters possibly. And then we run another algorithm, a next seller's algorithm over it. And that is a filter that helps to predict the next seller in the area. Now, I get it. Things are a little bit different right now because, very different because of the interest rates. And so you got a lot of people who would normally sell who are not going to sell. They're going to hang, or there's a lot of fear in the market probably, but things change. If interest rates will come down. Interest rates have been kind of holding, so I don't see, if someone wants to move, life is short. I recommend, hey, doing it. Make the move that you want to do because, hey, eventually the rates are going to come down. You refinance, right? So that's up to you guys to, to spread that positive news, that message out there, to help tamper down some of the fear that's in the market. There's the markets come in cycles. The interest rates will go up, go down. And I get it. We're in an election season. So, it's cyclical, right? So things will change. Things will get better. They are getting better. I think they're going to just continue to get better. I think we're going to have a strong year. I really do. But, for the time being, let's target some of the stuff that, let's target sellers who need to sell right now, right? And so that's why I want to show you how to do this. I can't give this to you, but I can't give you the data on, divorces or affidavits of death, but I can show you how to use these programs, which are going to be, key to your success in this market right now. And then same thing, there's also other niches like going after, right now is a good time to sell. Right? Because if you're an investor and you've been holding for many years, maybe you are at that empty nester age, that age of retirement, you want to start to liquidate your portfolio. And that's another niche, right? Start targeting, older investors who are ready to close out now and cash in. I can teach you how to use Title Toolbox to do that. I can always easily get you absentee owners. So let's go ahead and go back into the Title Toolbox. And we're looking at I'm going to close this window here. We're looking at the boundary map in Pasadena. And this is around the Pasadena area. So I'm going to click on that map again. We're going to click add filters. And let's go ahead and go back to the custom filters here, right up in here. And let's take a look at some of the non-owner occupied. So let's put that filter on, non-owner occupied on, right? And let's go ahead and also let's go ahead and put the empty nester algorithm over it. Okay. So now you see what we're doing here is I've got this boundary map in the city of Pasadena, and I've now put a filter on for absentee owners who have owned for 30 or more years. So this is a good niche because, hey, this is a good time for them to sell, to liquidate, right? Because the market is high, right? You got values that are super high right now still. And so I think this is a great niche to go after. So you can go ahead and get the count on this, right? So the system's going to go ahead and compile this data. So out of that boundary map of this area in Pasadena that I've got created, we're looking at 345 properties that's coming back with. You can see down here in the green at the bottom, 345 properties found against the given search criteria. Those are 345 properties that I would definitely, send a letter out to, door knock, If you wanted to get even further with this data, you could click onto the Premier Data up in the right-hand corner, and you can click on phone and email addresses, right? Again, this is a premium feature, so, you have access to the program I show you how to use it. But for premium features, you do pay for that. So if you wanted to add phone numbers and email addresses off of those 345 empty nesters, who are absentee owners as well, you might be able to contact them and reach out to them and say, are you interested in liquidating some of your assets? Or maybe you're interested in adding to your portfolio. I'm an expert in the area, right? That part's up to you, to express to them, how you can help them, what your capabilities are and all that, so what I'm trying to do is, lead the horse to the water, right? It's up to you guys to drink the water. So I'm going to be doing this, checking in with you guys weekly again here. Title Talk with Corey, the podcast for agents, people in the real estate business. And I'm going to be here every Monday, 11 a.m. Moving forward, episode 20. That's right. All right. So let's go ahead and close out the filter on this here. And I still got my boundary map here in the Pasadena area, right? And so click on the map and we'll go up here again, add filters, available filters. You can see all these different available filters in here and perimeters that we can do and change. If I wanted to drop the condos, you can see that right now I have single family residence and condominiums picked. Let's go ahead and drop the condos. So we'll drop that. And let's go back into Premier data. Again, this is the paid data that you would, because I can't legally give this to you. We're going to go ahead and click on the type of lead that we're looking for here. And let's do, we did the divorces. Let's go ahead and do affidavits of death. I know that's sad, but it's life, right? Someone passes away, an owner passes away, more than likely something's going to happen, in the next 3 to 12 months. So we'll go click data filing and we'll go back last 3 months. So the data filing, we change that last X months, we'll go back and change the value to 3. So we're running the boundary search. I got 3 months, going back 3 months, and we're doing affidavits of death that were filed. We're not doing condominiums, just single family residences off of my boundary map. So we're going to get that count. And there's a total of 38 properties that match that search. If you were going to pay for that, that would cost you $19. It's all good data. It's all really good stuff. These are good. This is why I want to make sure I share this with you, make sure that you know all of the functionality here within the PCT title toolbox. It's very, very important. It's very useful for you guys in this market right now to be more target specific on the data that you're going after. And it's okay. Like if you have a listing, you just sold a listing, to market around that listing. I think that's a great idea. I do several of those. You just sold a property, you want to do the 50 to 100 nearest neighbors. Do that. Absolutely. Market. It's all about brand awareness, right? I can help send labels to you. Send those overnight, depending on where you are. I'll deliver them to you. I can send them to you, or I can take them to you. But let's just say you had a listing and it's on the market right now. Ideas that you could do to, increase the exposure of that listing, right? What could you do around that listing? There's a lot of things that you could do. So within this title program, real estate apparatus that is called PCT Title Toolbox, you would just punch in the address, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to clear this boundary. And so I'll go ahead and clear this boundary. And we're just going to go ahead and type in an address right up in here. We'll just pretend like this is a listing. Let's just say you have this on the market right now. And what could you do as a listing? What should you do to market that listing? Well, there's a lot of things, and I mentioned before, absentee owners are what the people that live in the houses are probably renters. So you could potentially, market to all of the renters in the area. They obviously love the area. They love the house, right? You could also target. You could target. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and let's get an area here. So I'm creating an area here now. This is actually in Glendora, and I'm going to do a boundary search here around this one property. We're pretending like this is your listing. And what could you do? What should you do to start, marketing around the listing? So I selected a property here, and what I did is I created a boundary in that neighborhood around that potential listing. Let's say you have that listing, right? And how should I market this property? Again, at the very least, you should absolutely send out to the neighborhood some labels promoting the listing. But to be a little bit more target specific, target the absentee owners. Why? Because those are potential renters who may want to, move up and buy right now. You just never know the situation, right? Again, it's this is assuming you already have the listing and now you want to, expose the listing to as many people as you can and potentially people who may want to buy that house. So you're targeting, absentee owners around the area. Okay, great idea. Let the closest neighbors know that you're selling the house. Maybe they have a friend or family that member that wants to move into the neighborhood, right? Okay, so off of this boundary map, where we supposedly have a listing, I'm gonna add a filter in here, and so we'll go ahead and add some custom filters. There's a couple things that you'd want to do. In this market, the next seller algorithm might not really apply that much because of, again, the interest rates. But that's not to say that you shouldn't run it. I think you should still run a next seller algorithm and help, right? Because you just want to be on top of it. You want to always know what's going on in these areas that you work in, especially where you guys have listings. I would create little farm areas out of every, listing that you have. And even if it's not your listing, but maybe it's your brokers or somebody else in the office, constantly be feeding off of that, because that's all it's all going to the same broker, right? So you should be building your brand off of that. 100%. So we ran around the property, and we got all these different filters. I could run an out-of-state owner list. I think that's a great idea. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and click on the out-of-state filter off of this boundary list surrounding my listing. And why would that be good? Because potentially you could say, hey, I'm an expert in the area. I have a listing at 325 Main Street, and I noticed that you have this house there. It's kind of been sitting there. It looks like it's a little bit dilapidated, run down. Wondering if you were interested in selling that house, putting it on the market. I have another house in the area that's on the market, right? Great idea. So I'm going to go ahead and click on out-of-state owners around that listing. I found one. Now, this neighborhood's not too big, but I found one. I would definitely contact him or her, right? So out-of-state owners, there was one. Just regular absentee owners, non-owner occupied. I'm clicking get count, and I got 9. So in that neighborhood, I think there's probably maybe 50 houses or 60 or something like that. So you got like 9 absentee owners, and one of those absentee owners is out of state. Okay. Empty nesters, those are good. It's always a good idea to stay on top of that. You never know someone's situation. Again, if you have retirement age, it's just too much house. Maybe they're moving back east or moving in with their, sons or daughters, who knows? But stay on top of it. So in this neighborhood, I have 20. I applied another filter over that boundary in Glendora, and I have 20 empty nesters. right? Now, when you go to Premiere and you go to like life-changing events, I'm going to highly recommend doing a much broader area, a broader uh, range. And that's going to be because obviously there's not going to be that many of those records. So you want to stay, within, you want to have a larger area when you're targeting life-changing events, because you're going to get many, you're not going to get too many records come back on a smaller area with a life-changing event, right? You run a farm of 100 properties. Chances are you're not going to have any people in there that filed for divorce, right? So you'll want to definitely make a broader area, in your boundary map or your search, right? So, I would recommend when you're doing stuff like, you're using the title toolbox to pull premium data. I would recommend using a broader area like a whole city or zip code, or even a couple zip codes. And then you can, you'll see much greater results with that. And then for your regular farm, try to stay 500 or lower. Try to stay 500 or lower, and then right away start to kind of break down that area, right, into smaller demographics. How many absentees are within that 500 farm record? Maybe you have 100, right? How many next sellers are on that list, right? You could probably get back maybe 20, maybe not, maybe less. How many out-of-state owners are within that area, right? And then I showed you how to run the algorithm on an empty nester, right, which is 30 years of ownership, and who are out of state. I think that's a good little niche to kind of go after, because you're talking about people who are owners, don't live in the property, they're investors, they've been holding for many, many, many years, and maybe it's time to liquidate, close shop, so that's up to you guys to get out there and be proactive, be more selective, be more target specific. The tools that we have here, and this is just one of them, one of many, and in many cases you can actually apply more than one tool here and kind of cross use them together, and I do that sometimes. I pull a spreadsheet, and then you apply that spreadsheet to another program, and I can show you how to upload your spreadsheets, your own farms, into Title Toolbox, and how to use that. The power is in your own hands in many ways, because some of the Title Toolbox has we have a mobile application that you can use with it, right? So remember, the business is not out there. Business is right here under your nose. It's right here. The business is right here. So you just gotta wake up and smell the coffee. You know what I mean? So join me every Monday, 11 a.m. I'm broadcasting here live. So this is a live podcast, Title Talk with Corey. And I'll be sharing a lot of great stuff for real estate agents, lenders, anybody in the business, escrow even. I'm trying to get my marketing director up here to talk about this wonderful new feature that we have called the Client Portal. And this is a fantastic thing. I don't want to get into too much detail on that, because he's the expert. They designed this program, and it's a wonderful tool, wonderful apparatus for not just agents, but transaction coordinators, anybody in the business, escrow. So I want to make sure that I fully inform you about that. And again, if you guys want to set up any classes this year, let's do it. I can come out and show you a lot of stuff. If there's another subject, within the business that I feel that one of our other colleagues could help do, we have several classes and topics that we can help train your agents. If you're an office manager, if you're a broker, we would love to come out and set up a training for you, whether that's on farm technology, on, title technology, anything that we can do to help your agents be more engaged and more involved. If you want to use us to help bring the agents in the office to do some trainings for you, we are happy to come out to do that. So please feel free to reach out to me, 626-392-7993, or you can email me open@CoreyTitleRep.com. And don't forget to check out the website, www.CoreyTitleRep.com, for all of my live links, my live feeds, the podcast Title Talk with Corey, which is now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, all places that podcasts are played, wherever you get your podcasts. So join me next week right here on for the podcast Title Talk with Corey. And I'll see you guys next Monday. You guys have a great one. Don't forget to reach out. I'm feeling good now. No.